This lesson is on equation of a line in standard form. So there's two ways that you can write an equation of a line, and the first way is what we saw in our last lesson, and it's called slope y-intercept form. And the equation is the one that we have been using for a while now, y equals mx plus b. But lines can be written in another form, and that is called standard form. And standard form looks the way that it says in the title. So all the terms are on one side of the equation, usually the left side, and it equals 0. And in standard form, a must be positive and a whole number. Now that's more important when you are going to be converting an equation into standard form. In this lesson we won't be doing that. We're going to be taking standard form and changing it back into y equals mx plus b form. And why this is important is if you're given an equation in standard form, you can't graph it when it's in standard form using that last method we just learned, the m and the b. So if we change it to mx plus b form, we can then get the m and the b to graph. Okay, let's take a look at example 1. It says to express each equation in the form y equals mx plus b, identify its slope and y-intercept, and then graph. All right, so let's start with the first example. We're going to convert it into y equals mx plus b form. So that means we want the y isolated on the left. So I'm going to leave the y where it's at. I'm going to bring the x to the other side, so we know when that happens it changes to a negative x. And just as a reminder, the math behind it, when we do the balance method or opposite operations, we know that I'm subtracting x from this side to make it go to 0, and I would subtract x from this side to keep it balanced. And so that leaves me with y equals a negative x. The y is going to stay where it's at. And then the subtract 3, the opposite would be a plus 3. I do that to both sides. The negative 3, or you can think of it as comes over and becomes a positive 3. Okay, and we already have it in mx plus b form with just those two moves. So I can now state my m and state my b. So I know my b value is 3. M is whatever is being multiplied by x. In this case, we would have a 1 in front. So we know that's a negative 1. All right, let's try the next one. So we want to get y by itself. So we're going to start by leaving the 2y on the left side. We're going to subtract x from both sides. We're going to add 4 to both sides. And I almost have it in mx plus b form, except I have this times 2 I need to get rid of. So we're going to divide 2 both sides. So 2 goes into 2 once, so I'm left with the y I want. Now on this side, we're going to simplify this more. So when you have the two terms on top being divided by that one number, that's the same as negative x divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2. That means the same thing. Think when you are adding and subtracting fractions, if I have 2 over 5 plus 1 over 5, that is the same as 2 plus 1 over 5, because we know that denominator just stays the same. So we're just doing the opposite. We're taking that 2 plus 1 and putting each one over 5, right? That's what we did here. All right, so for now, we are going to now simplify each term. So on my first term, I know that there would be a 1 in front, and negative 1 divided by 2 we would keep, because remember we don't want a decimal. And in my second term, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so I have the equation simplified. Now I can state my m. So my m is negative 1 over 2, and my b is 2. All right, let's look at the last one. 6x minus 3y minus 15 equals 0. So I have to leave the 3y where it's at. We need to remember, based on our first unit polynomials, that it's not 3y, it's negative 3y. So I'm going to leave the negative 3y where it's at. I'm going to subtract both sides by negative 6x and add both sides by 15. So now I need to get rid of this times negative 3. So I will divide both sides by negative 3. Negative 3 goes into negative 3 once. And I'll now rewrite this so I can see that it's negative 6 divided by negative 3 plus 15 divided by negative 3. So I'm going to simplify. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a positive 2x, and 15 divided by negative 3 is a negative 5. So I'm going to state my m and state my b. Okay, so that is the skill that we're learning today, going from standard form to slope y form. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and graph using m and b. So this is what we learned yesterday, or in the last lesson. Might be in the same day for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have our Cartesian plane down here, and we need to go ahead and scale it. So remember, we put arrows on the ends of the axes, label x to the right, y to the top, and I'm going to go ahead and do my scale. All right, I have my scale done, so we'll plot our first line. So I need to see the m and the b. The m is negative 1, and the b is 3. So let's start by plotting my b on the y-axis at 3. Now my slope is negative 1. So we know that would be over 1. So this is my rise, and this is my run. So from my point of 3, I have to go down 1 and to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. So I can see my line is going to be going down and to the right, and that makes sense with a negative slope. Let's go ahead and draw my line. So when you draw your line, don't just go through your points. Make sure you extend your graph to each side, or extend your line. And you always put arrows on the ends of your line, and then we label it with the equation. So the equation is, I'm just going to look in my notes so I don't have to move the screen. The equation is x plus y minus 3 equals 0. Now you could also, if you wanted, write the equation in the mx+b form. That works as well. Okay, let's move to our next line. So we're going to plot our b, which is 2, and then we'll follow our slope. So now the negative's in the middle, so I know that I'm going to move it to the numerator. So I have a negative 1 rise and a 2 run. So from my b value of 2, I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2. And I'm going to do a couple points the other way. So I'll just move that negative to the denominator. That means up 1 to the left, up 1 to the left. Okay, let's go ahead and draw our line. Make sure we go from one side of the graph to the other. The other thing to mention is you should be using a ruler when you do your lines. Okay, arrows on the ends, and label with the equation. So the equation is x plus 2y minus 4 equals 0. You could also use the formula that you rearranged it to. Okay, the last one is b equals negative 5 for my y-intercept, and my slope is 2. So we remember that if I have a slope of 2, we put that over 1. So I have a rise of 2. That means I'm going up 2 and a run of 1 to the right 1. And we'll just continue till I have enough points to draw a line. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll draw our line, and we'll make sure we extend it from one side to the other. Just move my screen down so I can fit it. Okay, now this is a very poorly drawn line, so I want to fix that. It should be going right through the points. That looks better. Okay, we'll put arrows on the ends and then label with the equation. So this equation is 6x minus 3y minus 15 equals 0. All right, and that's how you're going to practice today, changing slope y form to standard form and then graphing the lines just like we did yesterday. So let's turn to the back of the page. Now we have a real life situation. This real life situation says that the Celebrations Banquet Hall uses the equation 25n minus c plus 1250 equals 0 to determine the cost for hall rental, where c represents the cost and in dollars, which depends on n, the number of people. So the good news is we have our variables given to us. We're not going to have to do any let statements. Part A says to express the equation in slope y-intercept form. So we want it to have the c isolated. So I'll start by writing the original question, 25n minus c plus 1250 equals 0. I'm going to leave c where it's at. Please note it's a negative c. Now I have another option. I don't necessarily have to leave negative c here. I could bring it to the other side, and that would make it a positive c. So 25n stays where it's at, 1250 stays where it's at. I'm going to add c to both sides, or bring it over, it becomes a positive c, and there I have my equation. I just have to reverse now. So that's another option. If you notice that the c is, or your y value is negative, and with a 1 in front, you can just bring it over, and you got it done. All right, let's take a look now at B. They want us to identify the fixed and variable cost. So we know that for variable cost, that is another way to say the M. So in this case, the variable cost is going to be 25, and that would be $25 per person. And the fixed cost, which is another way to say B, or initial value, is going to be the $12.50. Okay, and that $12.50 must be to rent the hall, maybe pay for the servers. Okay, C says to illustrate the relation graphically. So this is where I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to finish the rest of the question in the next video.